Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I am showing you how to create these cute, simple and flat shaker cards using the VR Memory Keeper's Fuse tool. The stamp set I'm using today is the Mama Elephant Fuzzy Hug set. Those are a few examples I already created. The products I use are the Mama Elephant Fuzzy Hug stamp set, as well as the My Favorite Things Dynamics Stitched Snowdrift die. I also used a circle die to create my shaker window on my card front. I just made sure it fits nicely around the critters I want to use for my project. And that's my fuse tool. You can use any kind of fuse tool you have or you want. First, I die cut a circle out of craft cardstock, which will be our card front. Now we're stamping our cute little images. I chose the pair of bunnies today because I think they're just adorable. I stamped them out on Nina Solar White Classic Crust cardstock using my Ink on Free hybrid ink. And now it's time to color. I super sped this up because it's really not that intricate or interesting to watch. So the first thing I did was to start off with my lightest shade, which is a neutral gray. It's NG2. I'm showing the marker caps on screen in case you're interested. After I first laid down the lightest color, I'm going in with a darker neutral gray and intensify the shadow. I like to do the shadow in a lighter shade first to already wet and saturate the paper in order to get a nicer blend. Now I'm going back in with my lighter gray and just blend out the edges. As you can see, I also like to apply a little bit of gray into their ears. I think it just blends in nicer that way when we add the pink rosy shade later on. Now I'm going in with the pink for the ears and blending the darker pink out. Now you can see the little hint of gray in their ears, and I think it looks a little bit more realistic than just plain pink. Now I'm adding a little bit of pink to their cheeks because I think it just makes them look really cute. Now their faces and their fur is done, so we can go on to coloring their clothes. Now I switch to different markers. I have a variety of markers, some Copic, some Style, and then some random alcohol markers I picked up somewhere. Now what I'm doing is applying the darker shade, in this case the pink color, to the areas where I think the shadow would be. And then I go in with my colorless blender and blend it out. Their clothes are really pastel looking, and I wanted to give them a kind of fuzzy look with the colorless blender. I don't know whether it's just my colorless blender, but every time I use it on something like this, It always makes it seem a little bit fuzzy or textured, and I really like this for this image. Now I am going in with a pale blue shade and color their little pants. And I'm going in with my colorless blender again, blending it out. I wanted a really soft coloring for their clothes. And now I just color in the little details, her scarf and his kind of pom-pom. As a final touch, I'm adding 3 little dots to each cheek. I think it just looks really cute. And now we can start masking. I have already prepared a mask, and as you can see I already used it about 2 or 3 times. Now I'm placing the mask over our colored images. I just used plain copy paper and added a little bit of removable adhesive. And now I've placed our mask, press it down, make sure it's aligned. And now I'm taking the second mask. That's where I used the stitched snowdrift dye. Now I'm just placing our card front on top, checking whether it's exactly how I want it to be. And now I can finally start ink blending. I'm using 3 different shades of Distress ink. I'm using Picked Raspberry, Worn Lipstick and Fired Brick. And I'm just using a cheap makeup brush to apply the ink. I start at the bottom and blend my way upwards. I start with Worn Lipstick. I later go on with a little bit of Picked Raspberry and a tiny bit of Fired Brick. As you can see, I zoomed you in a little. Once in a while, I place my card front on top and check whether the ink blending is exactly how I want it to be. I wanted a really soft background to nicely complement our little critters. Now comes the best part, removing the masks. I start off with the snowdrift, and it's already really satisfying. There goes the second mask, and I accidentally ripped off her left ear, which I didn't notice at first. I just heard a weird ripping noise. Took it off real quick. And now I'm doing something that I should have done before. I'm just adding a little bit of shadow on the snow, so it doesn't look so stark white. Usually I would do this with the bunny mask still on, but I just forgot. Now it's time to stamp our sentiment. And I wanted to stamp our sentiment directly onto our card front. I used my anti-static powder tool and now I'm stamping the sentiment onto our card front with VersaMark ink. The sentiment says, "I just wanted to send you a hug," which is really cute and I'll use this for many different occasions. Now I'm applying just a little bit of Wow white embossing powder. I just keep it in a small container I got at a dollar store. And off camera I'm just brushing away the little excess on the right side. And then I'm going to heat emboss that off camera. Now I'm using just a dry cloth in order to get rid of all the excess powder. I really love the white on craft cardstock. Now I'm trimming down our colored piece and check whether it nicely fits behind our window. And that's my little plastic pocket. My fuse tool is really good and hot. Let it heat up for approximately 20 minutes. And now I'm starting to close up the pocket. Keep in mind to just close up 3 sides because we want to add a little bit of glitter and sparkle. If you want a really good tutorial on how to use the fuse tool, I'll link one in the corner. Now we can add our sparkle. I'm using pink confetti hearts. Make sure they're not too bulky because we don't want too many big and chunky pieces in order to get a flat card. Now I'm using a little bit of hexagon-shaped iridescent glitter in white. And it shifts to pink and blue, which is really pretty. And we're using a little bit of hot pink glitter. Make sure to not use too much because otherwise our card won't stay flat. Now it's time to close up our pocket. I'm just using my fuse tool again and close up the last side. Just make sure it's really good and sealed. Now we have our shaker pocket. Always make sure your pocket is small enough to fit behind the frame. And now we're almost done. I'm using a little bit of adhesive to adhere our shaker pocket behind our window frame. And just take your time lining it up. See, our pocket is really flat thanks to the small glitter and confetti. Just press it down. I just placed a lot of double-sided adhesive on the back. It'll help make our card stay flat. And now I'm making sure to line it up. I'm using also a craft cardstock card base because I just like the look of it. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye!